Hello everybody, Infernape Shinjo here, and welcome to a new top 10 series, I guess to put it, on my channel. Today, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 pink-haired anime characters. Honestly, I don't know what spurred this idea on. I just thought it'd be a cool idea. There are a lot of unique hairstyles and hair colors in anime, so I figured to start with this. And obviously, I'm kind of notorious, or at least I think I am, for liking pink-haired anime characters, so I feel like this would be a good starting point to jump off of. But I didn't make this list myself. I asked a couple people in my Discord to list off pink-haired anime characters and mix that into my list as well. So if you're not following my Discord, definitely should, because I'm going to try and do stuff like this to involve my Discord more often. But to briefly go over the rules, the first rule is, obviously, the only people that can be involved in this list are pink hair characters. Now, this is where it gets tricky, but for a character that might look like they have a certain hair color, unless it shows it on the official Wiki page, then I'm not going to go by it. Like, for example, I'm going to butcher the name, but Yuigahama, I think, from Origairu, the one girl from there, I thought she had pink hair all this time, but I checked and apparently she has like orange or something. I don't know. It's weird how they describe things, and at the same time, I don't want to be wrong, so at least having a source like an official Wiki page for all these anime characters gives me an idea of should I include them or should I not include them. Another rule I tried to go by is take, for example, a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist. Let's just say Yugi. He's got some yellow in his hair, he's got black and red, so at the same time he technically has all three hair colors. If you would even call all of it hair, I'm not entirely sure. But at the same time, I don't want to have that be a cop-out. I guess a better explanation is Yusaku Playmaker from Yu-Gi-Oh! Range, because he's got like 2 or 3 different hair colors. So if I'm going to have Yusaku be involved for one of these lists, he won't be for all of them. Because otherwise, characters that have multiple hair colors will be on multiple lists, and that just makes it not interesting. And the third rule I'll elaborate on further down is that I'm only going to involve characters from anime that I've seen. Anything else will be considered an honorable mention. But without any further ado, let's get into those honorable mentions. So I'm well aware that there are more pink-haired characters than this, but these were the ones that were recommended from my Discord from anime that I haven't seen. I'm well aware of all of these shows to an extent, and even Ram from Re:Zero. I've technically seen Re:Zero, but not to the point where Ram was introduced. So for characters from anime that I haven't seen, or any characters that I may have forgotten, because there are a lot of characters for each hairstyle, so I'm sure that there are going to be some that I just plain forget. But for any situations where there's an anime that I haven't watched, or a character that I may have forgotten, they'd be considered an honorable mention. Because even though I know a little bit about a few of these characters to a degree, I don't think it's fair for me to rank them since I don't know the show specifically. So starting off this list is Madoka Kaname from Madoka Magicka. So, in a way to put it, this isn't going to sound rude to the character, although I'm sure it is, but in my opinion, she's just kind of there. I don't want to say bland, that's honestly what I was thinking of, but she's just kind of there. Like, you have other characters that have big moments in the show, no spoilers by the way, but Madoka is just here like, stop fighting all this stuff. So I'm just here like, okay. I mean, I like the design, and to be fair, I think from Magical Girl Raising Project, I think that main character has pink hair as well, correct me if I'm wrong. So really, you could probably put both of them in this spot if they both have pink hair. I don't remember. But really what it just boils down to is, from the 10 that I narrowed it down to, this is the one that I would say, okay, show is pretty good, but Madoka herself, just kind of there. So, I guess in a way she's just here out of obligation. Number 9 is Jakkus Array. I probably shouldn't have put her here because I struggled to say that whole thing. I don't recall if I said it before, but is from Kill la Kill, if it wasn't obvious from the design already because of how kind of crazy it looks. Now this was a character that somebody recommended that it was from a show that I actually knew. So I figured to at least give some respect because Kill la Kill is a good show. It's just the problem comes with Jakkus Array. Not that there's anything wrong with the character. Honestly, I like the character design. I like the whole aesthetic of like big band music. But the unfortunate part is I don't really remember much of what she does in the show. I know that she has like a big fight and I know that she has like smart remarks at times. But unfortunately she just doesn't have many memorable moments to me. A lot of it's really from that group is I remember more of Gamagora rather than her. But again, I do like the design and I swear, I'm going to have more to talk about with these characters eventually. It's just that these few are a little bit troublesome because I'm not sure exactly what to say other than I like the design. Oh, would you look at what time it is? It's time for me to mention Gekko Gurashi again. Alright, number 8 is Yuki Takeya from Gekko Gurashi. I know that Gekko Gurashi was one of the first anime that I talked about, that I watched myself on Let's Talk Anime. And to me, it's just been kind of one of those things where I always mention Gekko Gurashi if given the opportunity, and this is no different. Honestly, I forgot Yuki at first, which is kind of unfortunate because, needless to say, she has a big part in the show. And the show itself is one that, again, it was something I didn't think that I would like, but really enjoyable. And like I said, Yuki has a big part in the show, especially trying to be the center to bring everybody back down to reality, even though that's not kind of what she does, but she's kind of like the happy-go-lucky person to make everybody forget about their troubles, in a way to put it. I'm trying to avoid spoilers with this, but if you've seen Gekko Gurashi, you probably know what I'm getting at. But if you know anything about me and you've seen any of my videos, you do know that there are other bubbly, upbeat, pink-haired characters that I prefer that I'll get into later. Number 7 is Krona, and this is an interesting one because little bit of a background. What I do when I was making this list is I go on Google and I just look up pink-haired anime characters, and come to find out, Krona actually has pink hair. I never would have guessed that, but apparently it's pink. I thought it would be more of a purplish, but who knew? But Krona themselves is a very interesting character. I know I'm always saying that, but like, needless to say, the show wouldn't be the show that it would be without Krona involved. Especially the interaction Krona has with, her name's not Maki, is it? Mako? No, Mako's from Kill la Kill. Honestly, I can't remember. I think the name is Maki or Mako or Maka or something like that. The main girl from Soul Eater with Soul. I think I got the name down on one of those few. I can't remember off the top of my head. Obviously, I'm going to know by this point because I'm going to fact check myself. But like, the whole friendship that they built together during the show is just cool. Especially the whole mystery of who Krona actually is supposed to be at the start of the show, built up to finding out that Krona's just a scared little child. But I guess the takeaway that you can get from this is Soul Eater wouldn't be the show that it would be without Krona involved. Up next is Hisoka Moro from Hunter x Hunter. I was waiting for this moment. You all probably thought it was going to be a mostly female list with Madoka, Non, Yuki, but no, come to find out, there are male characters that have pink hair. It's just not as often. And yeah, again, apparently Hisoka's hair is pink. I thought it was more of a reddish, but sure. Now, Hisoka is a wild character, to say the least. Obviously, the first thing that you think about Hisoka is his fascination with Gon, and I'm just going to leave that at that. But even so, Hisoka is just a fun character to see on screen. Like when Hisoka is fighting that big-time champion in the Heavens Arena, that was a fun match, and especially his match with Gon later. Hisoka is just always there to cause mischief, and I'm here for it. Just always seemed like in the 2011 version of Hunter x Hunter, Hisoka somehow found a way to include himself in almost every arc. And it's one of those things where even though Hisoka was just in the Phantom Troop because he was a member or something, it didn't feel like something that was just shoehorned in just to include Hisoka because he's a popular character or something. And to be fair, I would put Hisoka a little bit higher, but the fact of his little fascination with Gon kinda makes me think he should stay at 6. Up next is Eerie Karen. I think that's how it's pronounced, from Digimon Universe App Monsters. Now this one, like Non, was one that was recommended on my Discord. And honestly, I feel kinda bad, because I watched this show. I know at one point I tried to do a review of every single episode. Shout out if you remember that, although I doubt many people remember that. But I actually forgot that she was a character. I mean, I knew she was a character, but like, when Digimon was in my mind for pink hair characters, I thought of Mimi from the original. But she like dyes her hair pink in the second series or something, I can't remember what. And that's what I was gonna go with. But then I remembered Eerie, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll include her. She's I don't want to say a fun character or an interesting character, because that's just something that I've said already for the other 4 slots. But Eerie is a character that I didn't think that I would like at first, because she just comes off as, I'm an idol. I don't have time for peasants like you. But when you learn about her backstory and learn about like all the stuff that she had to go through, it honestly makes you feel for her. And for a show like App Monsters that really only had 3 main characters, it would be kind of bad if one of the characters was somebody that was unlikable. But somehow App Monsters made it so, even though she came off as a bit rude at first, you got to learn her side of the story and find out that she's really just all alone. And this may or may not be an obligatory make this show a dub, because I want to see what Eerie sounds like dubbed. But yeah, I really like to see this dubbed. I know that everybody's clamoring over the new reboot of the Digimon original cast, but I'd like to see this dubbed before you go back to that. Now we're getting into the good characters. I mean, there are a couple of good characters before, but here is where my personal favorites come in. Morgianna from Magi. I don't know why I didn't think of Morg as soon as I made this list. I guess in a way I thought her hair was more reddish, kind of like Hisoka, which makes a list like this kind of hard to make, but the wiki says that she has pink hair, so I'll go with it. So I would say her arc is kind of like Aries, not as extreme because they're different genres, but like Morgianna is just there at first. She's well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the word, but she was taken captive by somebody else. So like after Aladdin sets her free, she starts off as kind of cold and deadpan, but she slowly warms up to the group and eventually acknowledges that she's their friend. It's just a good arc to see. And every time I see Morgianna on camera, I just always smile because she's just a fun character. Not to mention, she's one of the only characters that's on this list that can throw hands. Not sure if this is going to be a surprise to many people. Honestly, it might be, but up at 3 is Nadeshka Kagemiyahara from Laid Back Camp. At the same time, I wanted to put her and a certain other character in first and second, but I just felt like that would be too obvious. At the same time, there was another character that just crossed my radar that I feel deserves a little bit higher up. Because Nadeshko's a good character. Obviously, there's not much depth to her. She's just likes to camp, and she likes Rin, and she likes everybody, and she likes food, and kind of relatable to me. But at the same time, there's no growth that she has during the show. Unless the last few episodes of Season 2 actually have growth, I wouldn't think they would be. I haven't watched all of it yet. But she's just a good character. If there's something that I'm down about, I just see her and I just feel 1,000 times better. But at the same time, there's more to a character than just making you feel good. Like I said, the growth and journey certainly has a hand in it, like Morgianna and Eerie before. And don't get me wrong, I still like Nadeshko. It's just that I wanted to highlight some other characters that I haven't talked about as much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where it happens. This is where this 15-minute video turns into a 30-minute video while I gush about Jujutsu Kaisen. Number 2 is Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, this is where I can fully elaborate on what I mentioned earlier before, where a character that might have 2 different color hairs will not be on 2 different lists. So like with Yuji's case, his hair is mostly pink, but he has a little black patch in the back. So unfortunately, this means that he won't be on the top 10 black haired anime characters list, which is fine because most of his hair is pink anyway, so I feel like it makes more sense to include him here. But anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen, to start, is a good show. I know I'm probably so far off the bandwagon, and I think there was even a meme video that I did that referenced Jujutsu Kaisen that I didn't get the reference to. But I'm very late to this, but Jujutsu Kaisen is a good show. And honestly, the thing that carries it are the characters. I really like Yuji, I really like Nobara, Fushiguro, all the side characters. There's a freaking panda in the show. But Yuji, like I mentioned in my last spot, really goes through some development in this show. And I haven't even finished the first season yet. At the end of the day, I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen is anything that's really too groundbreaking to an extent. I'm going to try and keep my thoughts brief on this. I might discuss Kaisen for a Let's Talk Anime video down the line. But it's nothing really new to the shonen genre. It's got good animation, but to be fair, a lot of stuff has good animation. Just look at Mob Psycho 100. But Jujutsu Kaisen is just the best parts of a shonen anime. Especially down to Yuji as a character. Because you get characters like, how do I compare? Goku from Dragon Ball. He's just always positive for the most part, always willing to fight, and in a way can be kind of stale if you're looking for something with development. Whereas with Yuji, he comes to terms with a certain something in episode 1 that I'm not going to spoil, although I feel like most people probably know what I'm referring to, but I'm not going to in case you haven't watched this show yet. But he comes to terms with that, and then gets a literal spirit trapped inside of him. I know I literally mentioned about how I'm trying to keep spoiler free, but I guess I just don't care anymore. But then everything that happens throughout the first season of the show just makes Yuji a more likable character every time. Because it's not like he's just the plucky shonen protagonist that's always willing to fight. He actually has layers to him. Honestly, with all of that is the main reason Nadeshka was booted out of second place. Because otherwise, she'd probably be number 2. But This is just a good show, and Yuji certainly helps with that. And the wild thing about it is I haven't even seen all of the first season yet. I'm like 18 or 19 episodes into the first season. I haven't finished everything yet, and I'm already placing Itadori at number 2. So I can only imagine how much further he's going to be given the show gets later seasons, because I can guarantee you it's going to get another season down the line. Although, to be fair, I'm recording this before the first season is even finished, so a second season probably has been confirmed given how popular the show is. But yeah, given that all the Jujutsu Kaisen characters are all top tier, you can almost bet that there's going to be a Jujutsu Kaisen character for each one of these top 10s that I do. Oh yeah, did I mention I'm going to be doing this for different hair colors? I think I kind of touched on it, but I never outright stated it yet. Well, what can I say? You can't say pink hair character without Chika Fujiwara. I mean, you technically can, but whatever. Chika Fujiwara from Kaguya-sama Love is War is number 1. Probably not surprising anybody. I know that I kind of tricked you guys by putting Nadeshka at 3 instead of 2, but like, from all these characters, there's no way I wouldn't put Chika at number 1. She's just a fun character. She always keeps the antics up in the show, and honestly, I was tempted to put Itadori at 1 instead, but at the same time, I haven't finished the first season yet. With only 1 season under his belt, Itadori has a lot of shoes to fill, especially with Chika being in 2 seasons of Love is War. But yeah, what am I going to say about Chika that I haven't already said? She's a fun character, she's certainly a chaotic character, she always keeps everybody on their toes, and she's just got a little hint of mischievousness as well. Is mischievousness a word? I'm going to pretend that it is. But yeah, if you haven't seen me discuss Chika before, then you can probably just click onto any random video of mine. Somehow she's probably going to find her way into there because it's Chika. But that is my top 10 pink-haired anime characters, and I hope that you enjoyed. What I'm planning to do is work on this one and then give a hint to the hair color that I'm going to work on for the next video, so you guys can give me suggestions down in the comment section, and then I'll post that one, and then I'll just keep on going through until I get all of them done. I think I might have 5 or 6 different colors that I can do. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but the next one that I'm going to do is blue-haired anime characters. So if you have any good suggestions, leave them down in the comment section. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and like I said before, if there are any characters that weren't on this list that you really enjoy, there's a high chance that they're just an honorable mention. Either because it's a character that I didn't want to fit into top 10 for whatever reason, or it might be from a show that I haven't seen. I'll see you next time. Commentai.